depths of the world, towering high above, supplementing life, all from a place of love. Stretching to the sky, spreading with speed, something so great started from just a seed. Welcome back to the Gnome Grown Podcast, Gnomies. I'm Tanner Prittis, and today we're going to be making liquid cultures. Before we get into that, I wanted to do some housekeeping notes from our last episodes. So Mycotech. So if you remember, we made our own agar dishes in the last episode. Mycotech from Reddit gave us a pro tip. So he wanted to let us know that endospores don't get destroyed when you're pasteurizing your agar like we did with the boiling water. So just be sure when you do make those dishes to let them sit for a few days to make sure that any contaminants that may be present in there have a chance to grow out so that you can throw them away. But thank you for that pro tip, Mycotech. And then please, if there's anything else that, we mess up on, definitely make a comment and let us know. We're all just cultivators here. We're all just trying to get everything right. So I appreciate it, and thank you. So let's see. We had another one. Joe Hanneman from YouTube, he left us a comment, and he wanted to know the answers to the riddles that have already been answered. So far, only one of our riddles has been answered correctly. That was the first one, and it was fungus. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to give you some hints for the last two. So the second video that was about spores, a little hint for that riddle, it is a part of a mushroom. And for the agar dish episode, it is a specific type of mushroom. So hopefully that helps. Make sure to give your answer either in a YouTube comment. You can comment on Reddit, or send us an email directly from our website. So send in those answers and we'll get you those prizes out. And thank you for that suggestion, Joe. And last housekeeping note. What's his name? Their name, excuse me. So last housekeeping note, Jolly Monk 6487 from Reddit. He wanted to see if we could do an episode about using swabs and doing transfers and clones on using agar. And to that, Jolly Monk, I say absolutely. We'll definitely do one of those episodes. So thank you for the suggestion. It will be coming soon. We got a couple planned before that. But we'll definitely have an episode on that. So thank you guys so much for interacting. I appreciate it. And we do what we can to get you what you need. So let's get into today's episode. We're going to be making liquid cultures. So this is a really simple recipe. So what you need, you're going to need a glass canning jar. I like these small ones. I can't remember I think this is 12 ounces. You need a plastic lid. You can get these on Amazon. We'll have all the links in the episode description. You need a injection port and a filter, distilled water, and maple syrup, 100% pure maple syrup. So let's get this stuff out of the way. This is a super, super easy recipe. So we're going to just make one. There's only 2 ingredients. So what you're going to do, make sure you have distilled water. It has the least amount of contaminants like endospores you might have to deal with. So this jar is about 150 milliliters of water. So each jar needs about 150 milliliters of water, and then 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. So super easy, just 2 ingredients. There are a lot of different recipes that you can use. There's a lot of different additives, but I really like this one because it's just super simple. One second, I got to get this off. So just 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. Give that a good mixing. And that's basically it. That's all you really need. So ideally you'd want to pressure cook this in a pressure cooker. You do it at 15 psi for 15 to 20 minutes. No more than that, because you'll ruin your liquid culture. But, you know, being the handy mycologist cultivators that we are, we always try to find ways around it. And I learned this method from another person on Reddit. I wish I could give you credit, but I can't remember your name, so sorry. But they were saying that they can sterilize it in a microwave. So we're definitely going to try that. But before we do that, let's make your lid. So you're going to want to make 2 holes. And I like to use like a heated piece of metal to make the initial holes, because a lot of times when you'll be using these lids, they'll break if you put too much pressure on them. They're pretty weak in that regard, but this is just an easier way to make sure that you're not wasting materials. Okay, get your handy dandy blowtorch. Heat that sucker up just a little bit. Just want to get it nice and red hot. It doesn't actually need to be red hot, but be careful. Don't burn yourself. So we're going to make 2 little holes. Kind of spread them apart from the center. Come on, buddy. Ow. That was really hot. Be careful. I like to clean up these edges. I'll get a little razor blade and just kind of clean these bad boys up. Just want to make sure you got a nice little seal with your filter and your patch. Your filter and your injection port, I mean. Edges are all clean. It looks good. You're going to get your filter patch and put it on one of them. And then with the other hole, you're going to make it larger for your injection port. At least with the ones that I'm using, they need a little bit bigger of a hole. I use a 1/2 inch bit for the injection port. Be very careful. Get your hole nice and cleaned up afterwards. And then your injection port will just slip in nice and easy. It's still a little bit tight, but by design, so it kind of holds all those contaminants out. Slide her in there, and boom, you got your lid. So you want to make sure that when using this technique, if you're putting it in the pressure cooker, then it's totally fine. You just throw a little tin foil over that, and then you're set. But when using it, when you sterilizing or pasteurizing in the microwave, make sure to not tighten your lid all the way, and you're also going to make sure that your hole is not blocked in any way, because it could explode. So be very careful. So what we're going to do next is we're going to microwave this 3 times for 5 minutes at a time. Yeah, so we'll be right back. All right, well, that is microwaving. A couple little tips when making liquid culture. I like to sterilize my liquid culture in my pressure cooker with a magnet already inside. You can damage like your magnets when doing that. If you heat them to a certain temperature, that they can lose some of their strength, but they're super cheap, so it's just easier when you're doing it that way, so you don't have to like sterilize it and put it in after. And yeah, those injection ports are really good savers. You can really cuts out all the kind of contamination. So yeah, let's check on that liquid culture. We got our liquid culture out, and looks like this isn't the best way to microwave a liquid culture. So yeah, I would definitely say with this size of a jar, stick to a pressure cooker. But some tips: use a bigger jar. It spilled out. It was too much liquid for not enough container. So yeah, not the best method. But if you use a different container, I think it would work. But yeah, this recipe works really great for a pressure cooker. So yeah, that one didn't hit so hard, but here we are. So we're gonna see how this works. We're gonna leave this contained, and we're gonna see if there's any contaminants that grow in there, just to prove the concept that it works. Although the container, not right. Don't use this jar. Try out the method though. Before we end this episode, I'd like to ask you all to, if you ever are watching this and you want to share your own liquid culture recipe, I invite you to share that in any of the comments. You can send it to us and we can highlight it later on in episodes. But let's get all those liquid culture recipes in one place. So please share your favorite recipe. Yeah, let's get some of that knowledge out there. So before we end this episode, I wanted to do a little look back on our previous episodes. So let's go to the spores episode. These are the two dishes that we inoculated during our episodes. So this is the one that I did before, and it looks like there's no growth in there, which is really interesting. These spores didn't germinate for whatever reason, but the one that we did do in studio did. So you can see in there's some nice little fluffiness. We do have some contamination, but it's working really good. So later on, we're going to transfer these out to a new clean dish to get away from that contamination, and then hopefully we'll follow this culture to its end cycle of full mushroom. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And let's take a look at our agar dishes that we made. So I made one before the episode of the making the agars dishes, and then one on the episode, and they are both looking clean still. So it's been more than 2 weeks for each of them. They still have no contamination, so proof of concept. That is it for our update from the last episodes. So thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, we're doing another giveaway for this episode, so submit your answer to the riddle in the comments on Reddit or Instagram, wherever you're finding this video, on YouTube. And definitely share your answer, send it to our contact email, and the first to answer it correctly will receive an Elm Oyster liquid culture. So definitely give us your answer, and good luck. Follow us on Instagram, Reddit, YouTube. Be sure to subscribe so you can get notified of our new episodes. And follow us at Gnome Grown Mushrooms. That's on Instagram and Reddit. And thank you guys so much, and you have a good one. Peace. Collected for what we hold inside, lightweight yet strong and full of pride. I am the thing that gets left behind, often used by studious minds. What am I?